Okay, students, in last lecture we started with the second chapter, that is a natural construction material. Now we proceed further. So what are the different properties of the timber? So it should have a low heat conductivity. Okay, so whole the session should not be burned while we burn at the or started burning the one point of the timber session. Then second, small bulk density. Then relatively high strength. It should have a relatively high strength. Then its volume changes with the moisture content. As we know that these are the properties of the timbers. As a volume of the timber, if I apply some loads over the timber, then the volume changes rapidly. Then long life, it should have a good long life. So these are the some of the properties of the timber. And what is the importance of the timber? As we discussed, that it should be it is utilized in the construction of the different parts of the houses, like a wall, column, beam, doors, windows. Then it is easy to transport due to the lightweight. Then it is used in a furniture decoration. Okay, in sometimes some of the in military campus we observe that some bridges are constructed by using the timber only. So previously it is utilized, but it having a very less life as compared to the steel and the concrete. That's why it cannot be utilized for the uh, longer periods. Then what are the advantages and disadvantages? It is easy to cut, reshape, remold. Then it catches a fire because uh, due to its property, as we know that it can get fired earlier and the whole section can be burned. Then it can be affected by the termite attacks. Then it is locally available as it is advantage. So for the remote areas, we can utilize the timber for the construction of the houses. Then the disadvantage is not suitable for the heavy loads and the multi-stored construction. Also in seismic zones or in earthquake prone areas, we cannot utilize the timber as a construction material. Then it is useful to make the doors, windows, ventilators, furnitures of the building, sometimes the bridges. Okay, so these are the advantages and disadvantages of the timber. The next, sand. The sand particles consist of small grains of silica, and generally the natural sand is uh, excavated from or taken out from the rivers. Okay, that natural sand is much more useful in the plastering work, in the construction work, because they're having a low silica contents, and that's why it can give a good bonding properties, and it can be utilized as a filler material in the concrete. And also in plastering it gives a homogeneous surface texture. That's why we can utilize the sand, river sand especially, for the construction works, because if we utilize a sea sand, it having a high silica content as well as a sulfates, and that's why it can affect the strength of an concrete. So what is the requirement of the sand? First, it should be clean, free from the organic and the vegetable matters. Then it contains a sharp, angular and the durable grains. It should be well graded. Okay, so it is if it is finely graded, then we can easily utilize a sand for the construction work. Then it should not contain a salt. As I said, it should be free from the salt or the sulfates, which can affect the strength of an concrete, because due to the alkali reaction, sometimes the cracks are formed early in the stages of the construction. So to avoid this, the sand should be free from the salts. Then it should have a maximum permissible clay content, that is around 3 to 4%, and it should not be more than 3 to 4%. If this content increases, it means that if sand having a clay percent more than 4 to 5%, then the bonding between the cement and the sand is loosened, and it cannot form a good kind of mortar which has been utilized for the plastering work. So for good quality of the concrete as well as mortar, the sand should contain less than 3 to 4% of clay. Then types of sand: natural sand and the artificial sand. In artificial sand, sand is mixed or decomposed along with the other materials. So that's why the proper to increase the property of the sand, sometimes sand utilized along with the different chemicals or different materials. That's why it is called as artificial sand. And in natural, the sand which is available from the river and the sea, that is called as a natural sand. Then what are the uses of the sand? It is useful for the mortar preparation, masonry work, plaster work, flooring, then concrete work. Then what are the different properties of the sand, or which we can say that what are the good properties of the sand? The naturally available material, it is a natural available material. Then it is more durable. Then it is mixed with the different material easily. Then having a shiny luster. Then it is whitish brown, having a whitish brown color. So these are the some of the property of the sand. So importance as we discussed earlier. So we will not glance over again. Then aggregate, as we discussed, the aggregate, these are the naturally occurring material like a sand. Okay, it is a crushed form of rock or the gravels. Then what are the different requirement of the aggregate? It should have sufficient crushing impact value. Okay, and it should bear a heavy load. So because of this property, it is a main constituent of an concrete, which gains a strength to the concrete. Then the aggregate surface should be rough and free from the cracks. So what are the different uses of the aggregates as per the requirements? Firstly, the fine aggregates are used to prepare the cement mortar, lime mortar and the cement concrete. Then second, the coarse aggregates are used to prepare the cement concrete for the PCC and the RCC work, that is for the plain cement concrete and for the RCC works. Then fine aggregates are used in masonry, plaster, flooring. So these are the some of the uses of the aggregates. Then next, just hold on. So basically, in this chapter, we have gone through the some of the natural materials like the timber, sand, aggregates, cement, okay, lime. So all these are nothing but the natural construction materials which has been having different properties and utilized for the different works. So that is nothing but the second chapter. We have gone through the some of the overview of the materials. Natural construction material is utilized for the different purposes. So in next lecture we are continue with the same chapter. Thank you.